Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Banker is back with another one of its notorious episodes. Before I start, I wanna say a special thank you to all you guys that wished me in the previous episode. I really appreciate that, and I cannot find the proper words to express my appreciation. Anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna talk about what we are doing today in today's episode. So you guys know what to do. Grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable, it's gonna take a while, and crack the mandatory cold one. So my initial intentions for this episode was to do the tracks and some work on the upper hull, but I grabbed the opportunity to help a fellow close friend of the channel and do some kind of a tutorial about tracks, and this escalated quickly and the tutorial became a standalone episode. So if you guys having trouble with tracks, maybe stay along the length of this video and you may catch one or two tips. It's not that I am a professional, I'm just sharing my experience. So I don't wanna bore you anymore, guys. Let's see what past George did. Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of the Carro Armato, and what you see in front of you is the tank, not exactly where we left it. I have detail painted the suspension system and slightly weathered it. Let me grab a pointer. Okay. So as you can see, I have detail painted it and slightly weathered it. I chipped it over here at the corners and here, mainly where the rocks gonna hit the suspension system as the mover gear goes around. You know, you catch the drift. That's the one side and that's the other. So next up are the tracks, and I'm gonna grab the opportunity to help a close friend of the channel by teaching him what I know about tracks and giving him some advice. So that close and dear friend is none other than Gavin Booth at Gavin Booth's channel. For whoever is not familiar with Gavin, please go and check him out. He is a really great and excellent figure painter, mainly wargaming figures, but he also does some busts. So for whoever he is not familiar with him, once again, please go and check him out. You're gonna learn a lot of stuff, and because I have learned a lot of stuff from him, I wanna repay the favor back and maybe help him with his problem on tracks application. Now, as I said, it is time for me now to apply the tracks. And why the time is now, you're gonna ask me. Okay, first of all, that's the way I do things. That's not a canon or something written in stone. That's the way I do it. Once again, this is how I find that it suits me, and it suits me because I don't have an airbrush. So I gradually build and paint my subjects whenever it's easier for me to paint, and whenever I paint, and whenever it's easier for me to build, then I build. So I couldn't find a better opportunity than this one. So first of all, now that I have finished the lower hull, quote unquote finished, this is the time, because I have painted everything and everything is in place. I won't be doing anything else apart of applying the tracks and some slight weathering, but The best time is now because, as you can see, this subject in particular has no fenders, and this is gonna help us, and all the suspension parts are in place. One thing to keep in mind is don't apply the fenders if you are going to do it my way, and leave the sprocket wheel free. Where was I? Okay, I was at the point where I was telling you not to apply the fenders, of course, and leave the sprocket wheel free to move freely. Don't apply glue. Leaving the fender offs lets you have more space, so you can move the tracks where they need to go, and leaving the sprocket wheel free lets you adjust it so the teeth can fall exactly in the track's holes. Now I'm gonna leave this aside and I'm gonna show you the tracks. Tracks in this case are link and length. There are these stuff. These are the lengths and these are the links. They always give you spare parts. I mean, they always give you more. And when I say more, especially the links, according to my calculations, there are 14, 15, 17. We need 32 links, and we have 40 in each sprue. So we're gonna have some spares. Always we have some spares, at least in the kits I have seen. So what's my next step? Well, next step is gonna apply a base coat, as I have done over here. And what I have found out that the Vallejo colors, you can apply them, and the extra thing can still penetrate the paint and glue them together. So keep that in mind. As you can see, I have painted one tree of tracks already, and I'm gonna paint the next one because, as I said, I have no airbrush and I need at least to apply them a base coat now that it is easier for me. Well guys, I am back and every part of the track system is painted, as you can see. Now what I used for the tracks is flat earth 70.983 and just a simple panel line wash to get into the recesses. Now that everything is almost ready, let me show you what I will do. Of course, and I'm gonna start with one side first. Although I can do them at the same time, I will only do one at a time. So if I mess something up, I'm gonna mess it only on one side of the vehicle, and I will know my mistake and not repeat it on the other side. And of course, one side helps me to have an idea. Now this is how the instructions indicate that stuff should go together. I'm always reading the instructions so I can have an idea. Most of the time you either need one link more or one link less, but anyway, I'm just reading them to have an idea. As I said, I'm not following them 100%. What I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna do this part 22, one part of 21 and 24, so I can have a start. And this is a solid start because it's a flat area, and it starts with the curve over here. So I'm gonna glue this stuff together, attach them dry fit them temporarily on the tank so they can take their shape, and after that I'm gonna start either with this side or with that side. To be honest with you, I haven't decided yet, but let's start with this one. Always start with a base, where you know, a starting point, if you like to call it like this, and prefer the starting point to be, you know, the flat area where the tank touches the ground, because that's the most easy spot to do, and that's the spot where you cannot mess. So that's gonna be our starting point. I have cut everything up. It's all of them are over here, and as I said, I'm gonna glue them together. I am gonna use extra thin because, as I said in the previous video, I have found that it penetrates the color, Vallejo model color, so this is my choice. Now I'm gonna wait for it to cure for a couple of moments, and somewhere in the middle of curing you can position it, you know, this is gonna be malleable, and then at that moment I'm gonna attach it onto our vehicle and conform it to the surface. So guys, now the glue has cured, and here are the results. This is almost in place, and I say almost because it's gonna get finally in place after the whole truck's assembly will be finished. But we have this one, and this is gonna be our lead, however you're gonna call it, for the rest of it. So now that we finished with that one, I'm gonna start working onto the rear one. So I'm gonna cut loose 17 separate links, and trying to do that, to depict that curve over here. And I have chosen this one because this one is from the side of the idler wheel. We have no tooth to make the tracks conform onto, so this is gonna be the next easier part. Let me do that off camera. It's gonna be the same as this one. I'm gonna cut all 17 of them loose, and I'm gonna glue them as I go, and before they cure completely, I'm gonna make them conform over the idler the idler wheel and the rest of the track assembly that we have made. So guys, I have finished this side. As you can see, I have conformed it to the idler, as I said, and it is almost dry. You can still manipulate it, you know, move it left and right. And now my next step is going to be a little bit crucial and probably the most difficult part of the whole track assembly, the second most difficult part, because the top most difficult part will be to finish with the tracks. You know, I'm gonna talk about that later when I get there. Now what I'm gonna do next and why I'm gonna do it. Next up, of course, I am going to assemble this part, which is the most difficult because I have to conform the tracks onto the idler wheel, which is moving as we speak. Now This one is the most difficult part, as I said, because I have to conform the individual links at the idler to get the teeth in the holes as it moves, and also glue it over here. But if I get that correctly, then we should have smooth sailing. Why from here I move to here? There is a simple reason. The reason is that if I attach these ones first, I will need to attach links over here, or yes, over here, and this is not so good sometimes. I will attach these ones first, let them try, glue these two together, 22 and 23B, and when I attach it at our tank, we're gonna see if I will need to add a link or remove a link. My intention to add a link, my experience teaches me that it is better to add a link over here in the back because of the idler wheel, because there are no teeth and you can move it freely and more easy than the other side. That's why I'm doing it this way. I don't know if all that I have told you made sense, but it made sense in my mind and I can possibly explain it better in Greek. But anyway, we have to do you have to go, as I said, weirdly right now. Anyway, this side needs 14 links. I'm gonna cut them, remove them off the sprue, clean them, conform them on the other track, sorry guys, and we're gonna move from there. Now guys, I don't know why I have this crazy idea, but I have decided to film me trying to conform this onto the sprocket wheel. Either way, I'm wasting your time, so why not see me struggling to do that? So, word of advice, no, warning, I should say. I'm gonna try this in front of the camera. Possibilities are that it's gonna fight me back with all of its strength. You're gonna hear curses and you're gonna hear desperate voices like no, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Cross your fingers, your mud flaps, everything you can cross, and let's see how it goes. As I said, the tracks are almost malleable, as I am keeping saying that the tracks are almost malleable, and let's see how I'm gonna do that. Every time is the same for me. It's like the first time I do it. So this is gonna take me a while, and as I said, this is going to be probably a waste of time for you. But you were asking for it. Nobody was asking for it, but anyway. Okay. Well, we seem to have a problem, and it is the same problem like every time. I cannot press the tracks onto the sprocket, like always. Story of my life. Okay, that seemed to work. You have to be a little bit persistent and careless, and when I say careless, I mean to put some strength there. Press them like you don't care. Press them like there is no tomorrow. Oh no. What I told you screams. Desperate screams. And what I've told you, it's gonna fight me back. Let's start applying some glue here and there. You know, fix the tracks in place. Usually I fix them now, mainly over here. Let's apply some glue over here as well, because the connection points are usually fight me back. Yeah, what I've told you, they fight me back. Okay. No. Beat the tank, they said. It's gonna be easy, they say. It's gonna be fun. Focus a bit. Okay. One of us is gonna win and one of us is gonna lose, and the one that's gonna lose, it's not gonna be me this time. So looks like I am almost there. Looks like. Oh, come on. As I said, looks like I'm almost there. I'm not even close enough. Yeah. Now I am definitely there. You know what pisses me off? This one pisses me off. Okay. This one is my only problem. How can I tell? How can I explain? Most of the times my tracks look crooked from the front, but I usually hide them, the first ones I've ever done. I usually hide them with mud, but this time mud is not an option, because this vehicle is gonna operate in the Balkans, and in the Balkans at that time we had no mud. That time of the year, I wanna say. So I cannot hide it. Let me take it closer to my eyes. And of course I am destroying everything. Oh, looks that like we have a winner. Second time is the charm, as they say. And with this unnecessary long part of the video, what I wanted to teach you is to go for it, guys. Press fit them onto the sprocket wheel and get your fingers in there. Your fingers are the top class tool. Don't be afraid to mess it up, to break your links. Break your links. You can re-glue them, of course. Get in there. That's the only way that's the only way I found out that fits me. So now I'm gonna leave it to cure. I'm gonna of course apply glue over here at the road wheels, everywhere, all around the road wheels, so it can stays on. It can stays on. It will stay on, and I'm gonna come back for these two parts that are going to connect the whole track assembly, and the next part is gonna be double difficult for me because it's make it or break it. So guys, you see, this is how I told you. I need to add another link, probably another one or two. So as you can see, I have added all the links all around, the links that the instructions stated all around the moving gear, and I have a gap over here, which I suppose that it's gonna close if I add another link. Now this happens probably mainly for two reasons, to be honest with you, that I suspect. One reason is that I have made a mistake. I don't think that I have made a mistake. I mainly believe that I need to push fit a little bit better over here and over here as well. So press all the tracks assembly together so I can close this gap, but I won't do that. I will add another link, since the kit gives me the option of having extra links for in that case. I'm gonna do that. The second reason I believe that this happens, it's a bunch of stuff, mainly how good you have assembled the suspension and a lot of things. Maybe it is a mistake on the instructions, but anyway, since they provide you with an extra link, why not use it? Now what I'm gonna do, as you have seen, I have glued the two lengths over here, and I have glued the lengths over here all the way up in the front, because as I have said before, this is the easier part for me to add a link, the easier spot for me to add a link. So I'm gonna wait that to cure completely. I'm gonna also apply some glue over here at the return rollers, so my tracks are firm in place all around, except the idler right now and over here. And when the glue cures and everything is firmly positioned, I'm gonna add a link and we're gonna call it a day for this side. Of course I'm gonna do the other side exactly the same, and this is how one side of our tank is looking after I have added the link exactly over here where my tweezers are. Not bad, I can say. Now you're gonna tell me that there is no track sag, and I'm gonna agree with you because of various reasons. A couple of days ago I have seen a video from Mike, aka Coins Scale Modeling. I'm gonna leave a link to the description below for his channel. If you're not familiar with his channel, you need to go and check him out because he has a lot of knowledge to share and he does some incredible builds. So as I've said, I have seen a video from Mike a couple of days ago, and he was talking about tracks and track sag, and he shared some useful knowledge about them. One thing that he shared was about the track sag. As we all know, German tank, especially in the Second World War, are famous for their track sag, but this is only happening if the tank is still and in flat ground, or if the tank was moving or in a bad ground or in an uneven ground, the sag won't be visible because the tracks are tensioned. You know, the suspension system sinks and the tracks are tensioned. So because this tank is moving in the road, as you can probably guess from the picture, there is no track sag. So this is why I depicted it like this. To learn more about tracks and how they I forgot the word, and how they work, please go and check Mike's video out. If I am able to find it, I will leave a link to that video as well in the description and hear what he has to say. So after saying all that, this is how I do my tracks. This is how I put them together. This is the way I have found out that suits me more, and that's the way I evolved by my experience building tanks about the past 3 or 4 years, and I hope that I have helped you. I'm not saying that that's the right way, but that I am saying that this is one of the ways that you can do it. You have to find your own way and see what suits you better. You know, catch some tips from me, some tips from another guy, tips from here and there, and try them, conform them to your style. Anyway, my advice is put the tracks onto your tank whenever it is easier for you. For me, the exact example is this: no fenders, the sprocket wheel is off, and go, and you have how can I say it? You have plenty of space to work. That's the first part of my advice. Second part is having everything ready. If you are brass painting stuff like me, if you're not brass painting stuff like me, keep in mind that you will have to leave the tracks unglued in one place so you can reposition them. Third part of advice is go slow, work in portions, and always, and I say always, start with a starting point, preferably the lower portion of the vehicle, because that's the flat space. You have to, this is a set in stone point, so it can help you move all around. Go slow, work in portions. And the third part of advice from me is to don't be afraid to get into there. Work while your tracks are not cured completely. You must, to be precise, press them in place. You must get your fingers in there. You may do a mess, as I have done, but it's gonna help you conform them better onto your suspension system, as you have seen. Don't lose your patience. Get into there. Even if you are make a mess, you can always correct it. Just go slow and use your fingers. Don't be afraid. Now, off camera, I'm gonna do the other side, see how much footage I have collected, and we're gonna move from there. And as I've said yesterday, because a day has passed, I have done the other side. This is how both of the sides are looking. That's the side I have done off camera, and that's the one I have done originally on camera. That's how they look. Okay, they need another little bit of pass with paint. Not so bad, not so perfect. I could have done a little bit better job, but that's okay. Now I have collected enough footage. I didn't intend to do that, but it happened. Well, that escalated quickly. Anyway, and I'm gonna wrap this video up. And with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this episode. On our next episode, again, we will probably start working onto the upper hull of the vehicle. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and interesting, and stick along for the next one. Before I go, I want to thank each and every one of you guys that watched this video. A special thank you to my old subscribers. You guys are the best, and with your support I'm continuing doing what I do. For the newcomers out there, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe that it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that mofo Damon, signing out.